everyone, how's it going? My name's Jordan, also known as Scraps. I'll be guiding you through, actually, instead of guiding you through oscillators, I will put that video out much later though. Most likely later, much later today, so like around 11 or so. It's about 6:43, about a quarter to 7. Anyways, I wanted to show you some of the tech tips I found with just messing about. It doesn't really need to have a cutaway, but it is quite useful. And if you have huge expensive monitors, I have BX8As with the new drivers, you probably can't hear it. To be honest, you could probably hear it with Dre headphones, but I don't know, Sennheiser is a lot better than Dre. Anyways, I wanted to guide you through today of the different sound effects. The different, we'll go over this later, but I wanted to show you some of the crazy techniques that I found. So, in this instance, I have Operator opened. I just dragged it from the live devices, and I just dragged a basic operator. So I guess for the first tip, I'll go into LFO. Now if I right click, it will give us 3 parameters. Let me zoom in. These 3 parameters are, actually let me just show you. If you set the levels all the way to maximum, it brings all the different cues, all the different points to the very top. If you set it to mid, brings it all the way to the very middle. This is very useful if you're trying to get a finite point in your sound. And you can also set the envelopes to minimum. I'm pretty sure you can do this with the oscillator. Yeah, you can have all even. So meaning if you just click and hold. What this will do is it will choose every even point. And so I'm going to take that all off. Now I'm going to do odd. So it's going to choose every other one, which probably creates probably a saw. Let me make sure. Actually, that's a pulse wave. So that's pretty cool. That's very different and very unique. Let's see. We also have export AMS. I'm not sure what the AMS format is. I'm not sure what it can be useful for. I just don't know what exporting this does. Maybe you can export the WAV file and use it for later use, or reshape it with other tools and then import it back. Although it doesn't give you the option to import it, so I don't know. So you also have normalize on here. So normalize, this is a great tool for operators. Normalize will bring all the high peaks and all the low peaks. It'll bring all the high peaks down, and it'll bring all the low peaks, or all the things you can't really hear, all the way up. Not all the way up, but just enough to where you can hear it, and it makes the track normal for anyone to listen to. So instead of having high peaks that will distort your mix, you will have a nice even waveform. So what would happen if we took this off? Well, we would probably get a much rawer signal. And actually let me zoom out. I have a patch. And let's see. Vocalized. Oh yeah, this is incredibly weird stuff. Anyways, let me zoom in. I'll zoom in on, let's see. Yeah, let's zoom in on my oscillator B. So let me zoom in. I'm going to take the levels down so we don't blow our ears. Right click, take off normalize. So it changes its tone. That's all I'm saying. And tone is just another way of the different sound. I would suggest, if you want to create an actual very raw sound, to go in and take off normalize on practically everything. So when you go down octaves, so for example, I'll play D2. I'm sorry, D1. Turn that up. So now we're on D2. I'm sorry. Before that, that was D0. Now this is D1. And now we're on D2. D, E, F. Anyways, so I thought that was a very useful tip to share with you guys. Then, when we move on to our next filter, I chose filter delay. Now, why filter delay? I don't use filter delay at all. I'm sure you can create some very nice effects, but I like choosing ping pong and, oh yeah, I forgot to drag the other one over here. The simple delay. It can kind of escape me from now on, or it's just the names escape me a lot. Okay, so if you right click the very top of the filter delay, you get 3 new menu. I'm still using Ableton Live 8, no Ableton Live 9. Not yet, anyways. So we have rip, repitch, fade, and jump. Now, when your signal goes out to the filter delay, you basically have just a regular, I think it's fade. Yeah, so if you have your filter, let me just play a note. It fades into the distance. If we have repitch, it also fades, but that's actually a pretty bad example. I'm just going to turn everything all the way up. So instead of, when you play keys normally on a delay, it usually just has filter. And so when you play higher keys, it doesn't track which key you're playing. So you're actually, it's kind of like a grain effect. Like, it's kind of like, instead of going to beats, it'll probably go to textures. And then when you start messing around with textures, you just start to get this like really crappy grain effect. That's kind of what that is doing, but on a very, very, very small scale. Let's see, jump. I'm not sure what jump does. I don't know, let's find out. Okay, so what I noticed about it is that instead of fade will keep repeating and repeating and repeating until it hits 0 decibels, or we're probably just going to infinity and we can't hear it. Jump, from what I noticed right now, is that it jumps, like, it keeps playing, but it jumps from left to right. I don't know if it's the amount I have on here, but it goes from left to right, but it hops, and then it goes down and it hops again and goes down and hops. That's the same way that fade does it, but it does it in a way that is less typical for a delay, I guess. Anyways, for tip number 2, I have flanger. Now flanger is good for getting that kind of Daft Punk disco feel. Negative is a really, really good, powerful one. However, when you right click the top, you have a high quality mode. Why would you need a high quality mode for flanger? Well, let's say you're a perfectionist. I'm not, but let's say you are. And you want to get everything very micro, tiny, perfect. You want to get everything absolutely perfect. Well, if you choose high quality, instead of getting degraded waveforms or degraded sound, you actually get a much crisper, higher sound. This is actually turned on by default. Actually there's another effect later down the road that actually has it on high quality on default mode. But I thought that was interesting. So for filter number 2, the same thing applies with filter delay. I'm sorry tip number 3. You have repitch, fade, and jump. So if you don't want to mess around with the filter delay, it also works for ping pong, and it also works for simple delay. So all the delays have it. If you right click at the very top, you'll see it. So let me turn off ping pong. Saturator is something I work with all the time. I just use the basic sine wavefold. It brings up all the nice crisp peaks, and it brings up the lows. It just overall does an amazing job just by putting it on default. What I didn't know is that there is a high quality mode. So when I right click the very top, it shows a high quality mode. Let's see. And if you guys want to know what keys I'm playing, right now I'm playing, let's see. Okay. So I'm playing C1. I just play major chords for any of my examples. There are times when I do play semitones, or in this case, just the black keys. So I do C sharp, just all the black keys. But right now is C1. This is C2. I'm sorry. First one is C0. The next one is C1. And the one, wow. Okay, and the one after that is C2. Anyways, so it's a very useful effect. Dynamic tube has also a high quality mode if you want to get those. If you want to dirty up your synths, you would use dynamic tube. If you want more of an analog feel, that's what tube does. Let's see. I'm going to skip simple delay. We've already covered it. Chorus. This has a very different effect from all the other ones. This actually has a crisp effect. Now, why would it not just say high quality? Well, crisp is more of a high and mid frequency range. Crisp is what, let's say you put on an old record and it has all those vinyl scratchings, and actually when we go to vinyl distortion, it kind of sounds like this. So all those clicks you're hearing, it's that's what crisp is. It's attacking the mid and the high frequencies. So anywhere from 100 to about, I don't know, 28,000 kilohertz. It doesn't touch any of the very lows from what I understand, but let's try it. So it creates a very minor effect, but you can actually you can hear it. That's basically all the tips I have for you guys right now. If you want to, I'll just let this go. But if you guys want me to focus on any other tech tips, please let me know in the comments. I do take all the information you give me, whether it be bad or good, bad or great, or horrible. I still take it into an account of what I need to fix with myself, instead of just saying, well, nah, I'll let that go, because then I'm not really helping you guys. I'm just boasting for my own entertainment. So, I'll see you in the next video about oscillators, this intermediate oscillators, and how we'll start to get into shaping all the different oscillators and how it affects everything. It's probably going to be about a 10-minute video, and then we'll get into the advanced stuff, probably Saturday or Sunday. So I'll see you guys in maybe an hour or two, because it takes a while to upload.